Hi, it's Karen, the Weekend Craftaholic, and welcome to my annual craft room tour video. I have been excited to share this with you because over Christmas I've got lots of new storage goodies to share with you and lots of new products as well. So quite a few changes since the last video last year. And what I'm going to do with this one, actually, last year I did split it into two parts. I split my paper corner here and the sewing one, but this time I've actually split it into three parts, so you'll see that all three videos have been released at the same time. The first one, which is this one, is going to focus on all of my paper crafting stuff, so this side of the craft room. And the second one will be focused on all of my Cricut stuff, so my little Cricut Corner, and then lastly my sewing corner. So I'm just quickly showing you some pictures of that. So as always, whenever I'm doing a craft room tour, I'm using my iPhone, so apologies for any sound issues, any wobble. We'll try my absolute best not to walk too fast and to move the camera too much, but it does work much better than using my normal camera. Now speaking of, we'll kind of cover that off first if you like. You can see it here on the top of my little unit, and this is what I generally use for recording my YouTube videos. I do also have this little clamp as well, so if I'm using my iPhone, that's what I use to record, and that's the perfect height, as you can see, for my desk here. Now most of my stuff is from IKEA. I'll put all the links down below, but if you are interested in anything that I don't mention, please leave a comment. I always respond to all of the comments. So as you can see here on the left hand side, I've got a couple of shelves. This first tub, this is a tub from scrapbook.com. It's quite big, actually, bigger than I thought, so I'm just using it to store extra AVL pockets, that kind of thing, because I don't want to reach up there too often. This was one of my Christmas presents. Get a little bit closer. This is a little drawer full of washi tapes, and I got that recently. Plum Mashable recommended that in a December favourite, so I was able to jump online and get that. As you can see, it holds heaps and heaps of washi. Not only is it pretty functional, it holds heaps of them. I think it looks pretty good as well. So I've just got my crocodile on top of that. And then on my desk here, I've got all my punches now, so they're easily accessible. Extra trimmer. And this is my little spinny thing. This was a bit of an investment a few years ago, and you can see it just stores heaps and heaps of stuff, lots of random things in here. So that's pretty handy to store lots of things. I do like to have things close by, or else I tend not to use them. You can see I've also got my other little trimmer, and then I keep this on as well. So this is obviously a trimmer and a scoreboard. Now this was an extra unit I got from IKEA that sits on top of the desk. And apologies for the light, it is really bright summer here in Australia, so I've got the blind closed. But on top is just really where I add some extra random bits, as you can see. And along this side is where I keep all of my memory decks that I've made. This little box is full of swatches and things, so if I'm doing a layout, I can just have a look on here if I want to see anything in particular. So I've got all of these little swatch things in that. Here is where I do things like my gems in doilies. This is empty. This was a new purchase. My obsession with distress oxides meant I actually also went out and bought storage for it as well, so they would be nice and handy. So I just took out the extra shelves that were included on that side of the unit. And then this little drawer is just full of stationery. Move that out of the way. Just full of stationery items, to be honest. On this side you can see again I've just got some of my little favourite things in that little unit, and then on my shelves here I've got some pencils, brushes, that kind of stuff. And these little drawers from Kmart, I've got all my enamel dots and things in here, so I've just got those sorted by colour. This is a big bag of twine and things, again easy to reach. And then I've just got these Project Life pockets on a command hook, so again they're nearby, but I've not used them all year, so I probably should do a destash and get rid of those. Extra pens and stuff, and then I've repurposed this on here as well, just to use it for my coloured cardstock and also coloured paper. And the top here is where I generally keep my one little word, so you can see that just sticks in the top, because that's an all year round project. I'll move back and quickly show you my pegboard, because this has had a massive revamp. So this was filled with all my goodies. I'm just a bit too lazy to get up and reach for them. So instead it's a little bit of a display board now. So I've got all my favourite layouts in there, and I do mix them up every couple of months or so. I do generally change them around, so they're my favourite ones at the moment, as well as some little mini albums I've made, and really like those. This was from the Pocket Advent Calendar Exchange, which I keep in there. And then here is my 6x8 and 6x6 paper pads, my photographs ready to scrap, and yeah, just a bit more decoration really, more than anything else. I have all of my stamps and dies stored here. So this side's mainly lawn fawn. This is organised by category, as you can see here. And just doing what most people do really. Avery L pockets with the stamps in the front and dies in the back if I've got them. It's kind of overflowing a little bit, so I do have this large tub from Kmart. So this is where I just have dies, so there's no stamps, these are just dies. And then I've also got my hot files at the back, and also my Christmas stamps, and then embossing folders as well along that. So that just helps me to spread out a little bit more with that. Obviously my big shot, as you can see, all of the accessories and things I need with it are at the back here as well. So I keep all those together. I've recently moved my glass mat because I just could not figure out the issue with the lighting, with the reflection on the camera. So I've just moved it out of the way. And then this little space here is where I generally keep projects that are on the go. So I'll use this top as well as this area as well. So I still need to finish some stickers in last year's Happy Planner as well as this year's. That's why the sticker books are here. And this was a recent purchase that I'm working through as well. Okay, so let's get back to the desk area. So I love this. I keep this out all the time. This is when I'm stenciling. I've got the magnets in the drawer, but it saves me using tape. I can just use a magnetic sheet and I can do some blending on this with my stencils or paste, whatever I need to do. This was a recent purchase that I'm trying. Hopefully it's going to make my videos a little bit better quality because I won't get that reflection, and it'll make it look a little bit brighter for you as well. And then I've got this little cup full of adhesives. This is where I put all my waste paper, scraps and things. And then all the tools that I use all the time is in this little tub. So all my favourites are in here. And then on the back here I've got loads of colour. I've got my dilution sprays, my paints, Kaiser Mist sprays, and my Vicky Bouton pigment powders. So this is kind of a bit of a mixed media shelf, shall we say. So I've got my gel press, I've got my Mod Podge, my pastes, all that good stuff is on this shelf as well. So that's nice and handy in front of me. And then I've got some more punches here. These are all my border punches. This is all my scrap paper, so I'll reach for that first before I get any new sheets. And then look at my Copic collection. I'm very fortunate that I had a big milestone birthday in January, so all of my Christmas birthday presents produced this gorgeous set of Copics. So this is a good start to my collection, and they were all gifted to me, so I'm very, very lucky indeed. So I'd had this marker storage for a while from Crafter's Companion, so obviously I've moved shelves around and things to make sure it would fit in here, and then I've got a place for my Copics nice and handy. This little tray is full of random pens, like the Versamark pens, the Deco foil and so on. And I generally keep my little to-do list here as well, close to hand, so I know what I need to work on. This is my little tray just full of adhesive stuff that I reach for all the time. And I've got another tray here again, just some pens that I reach for quite often. Move that out of the way. This is another little junk drawer. This has got a lot of camera equipment stuff in, my fuse tool stuff. See, I've got my mouse. Yeah, all kinds of random stuff hidden away that I don't need to reach for very often. I've got my Waffle Flower watercolour mat here that I just generally keep on the back of my chair, and then when I need it I just put it down on the desk as well. And then very quickly under my desk is where my little dog comes and sits. So you can see it's very, very dirty, very messy, but he likes to go under the desk, and that's where my old typewriter is as well. I also keep my heat gun there, my fuse tool, so I can just reach out and get them when I need to. One of my IKEA carts. So this is stuck at the bottom. This is where I usually keep all of my Christmas stuff. So you can see here I'm still working on my December day list. It's all open, it's all ready to work on. These are a couple of Kmart cases where I've got, again, some more collections in there. Keeps them all together. My wood chip stuff, my chip veneer stuff, I really want to try using all of those up. I'm not a big fan, so I've put them a bit closer in the hope that I'll use them. And then on the top, this is kind of another recent change of mine. They were all full of die cuts in colour order, which is what these are, because I've still got heaps of these. But during my September stash busting, I managed to get rid of heaps of them, which left me with some empty cases. So what I've been doing instead, with the cut apart sheets, I've just been keeping them all in here, and then I've got all the bits together, so ready to go on a card or a layout or whatever I want. And that's, you can see different categories for that. All the pens and things that I did have in that marker storage before I got my Christmas Copics have all just been put in here. I've just used some old jars, and I'm just keeping them all here for now. These are all my Faber-Castells. And yeah, it's quite handy because I can roll it a little bit closer when I need it, roll it away when I don't and it's getting in the way. But it's really useful storage to have in the room as well. Now my other cart, so this is one of the rest cogs, it's a bit taller. It absolutely fits perfectly in that corner. I did buy this extra top from IKEA as well, just to make it into another work surface. And you can see I've just got my laminator here, my label machine. That's just some extra supplies. Let me just pull this out for you because it is a little bit messy. So this is where the shelves went to that were in this unit before I put the storage in. So what I've done here is just kind of use them more as a little, I don't know, just to stop things falling out. I've got all my spare cardboard that I use to back photos. Let me turn this around a little bit more. This is full of all my foils, which is easy to grab, and then this is all extra packaging and stuff that I've kept that again that I can use. And the bottom shelf is actually full of all my planner stuff and my crystal stuff, so it's tucked away at the bottom because I really don't need it and don't use it very often. And then recently, if you saw my Instagram this week, you'll know that I have had fun swatching this. So this was something else that I got over Christmas, these coin pockets. Let me just get them out for you. And I've had a lot of fun stamping out all of my inks and organising them, because I do have the little swatch things that I showed you at the top, but they're not by colour order, so I really like the idea of this. This is Jennifer Maguire's templates and ideas that, for example, all of my oranges in one place. So if I want an orange, I'm not looking by brand or manufacturer, I'm just looking by colour, and then I know which one I can pick. So I'm going to give this a whirl. I love swatching, I love organising as much as I love crafting. So I really enjoyed putting that together. I keep all of my foam blenders for my Distress Oxides in this little tub. Now I won't talk too much about this because next week's video is all about my storage and swatching and things. And you're interested in that, I'd love you to hit subscribe, and then that way you'll be notified when that comes out. So I'll keep that little trolley out the way, quickly touch on these. These are hidden by the cat, and that's not a problem because these are very old drawers that I never go into very often. This is full of tissues, padded envelopes. The bottom one is the same. It's got lots of jewellery making stuff, face paints. This one has got loads of wooden stuff, all kinds of things that I really don't use anymore. Things that I bought when it's been on sale and it's been a bargain, and then I've just never got around to it. And this one is full of stationery, folders, books, school supplies, all that stuff. This is full of my little 12x12 trays that are full of my different collections. So I've got them all here, and I keep everything for the collection in the tub, and then when I want it I can just pull it out on the desk. This is where we get messy again. If it's in a drawer, you know it's because it's a little bit messy. This is another catch-all drawer of things that I don't use very often, like my Xyron maker, my eyelets, all that kind of stuff. And again, random things that I really just don't know where else to put. Things like these gift tags and these brads and yeah, staples, all that kind of stuff. This one, as you can see, is full of all my extra adhesives. So I really should trim that down and make use of the drawer a bit better. And then this is just full of acrylic paints as well. in this drawer. And then all of these bottom little boxes you'll see when I do my sewing video, part 3 covers off all of that because they're not used for my paper crafting. This is a general one though, just got all my cleaning supplies in that one. And this one is where I keep all of my punch boards as well, so keep them all in that drawer. And another catch-all is just where I keep all my albums that I'm working on, and little planners and things, lots of books and extra pockets. Let's move on to my Alex drawers, because this is my one of my favourite parts of my room. And you can see that I've labelled them on the top. This was a tip from Simon earlier actually, so rather than put them on the front, I've put them on the tops here. So let's open the first drawer. This is on my distress inks, my minute inks, my markers and crayons, and I love this drawer just because of how colourful it is. So that's for my normal inks. This is on my Chapter and Poolers, and then my other random ones on this side. Got these little storage units from Kmart, but I know scrapbook.com sell them as well. One's just full of my glitters, my sequin confetti things, my embossing powders, some more embossing powder stuff. This is when I'm using my heat gun, and then all of my gorgeous sequins as well. Stencils in this one, they're all just stacked on top of one another here. A bit of a mess, and then I've got all of these little crepe paper tissue things as well. And this is where I keep my fuse tool stuff and my magnets that I mentioned earlier. This is all my memento inks and my perfect pearls. And look, this was a birthday surprise. Absolutely shocked and surprised and delighted to get that. So I needed to find a new home for it. And then it's another bit of a random drawer, but I've got my Go Press and Form machine, my light box. These are the pocket page notebooks that I'm working on at the moment, so they're in progress. That's a little tray here as well. And yeah, that is my Alex drawers on that side. Moving over to this side of the craft room, and I won't go through all of these drawers because a lot of this is my Cricut stuff, so you'll see this in my second video. But I will touch on these. This is where I keep all my alcohol inks and then all of my liquid pearls. And I got these little trays from Primark in the UK. They were only a couple of dollars, and they hold so much, as you can see, the perfect size to keep these little bottles in. And then this is one of my main go-to drawers. So it's always messy. This is my stamping drawer. So I keep my clean cloth rags here. All of my little stamping tool, scorer pad, masking tape, all my roller stamps, my acrylic blocks. Painting brushes are in here as well for some reason, but I know where they are and they work well for me. All these little random ones, little stamps that I've not put back. Cleaning fluid, and this is where I keep my bigger ruler as well. So that is really handy being so close to my desk. That one is Cricut white cardstock. So I've recently changed this up as well because with getting the Copics, I needed to make sure I'd got proper blending cardstock. So I'd ordered the Spectrum Noir and the Nina. So all of the white cardstock is now piled here. I've also got all my rulers and stencils and things on this side now. And this side is all different watercolour papers and pads. And these are just scraps of Nina as well. So they'll do for little critters and things. So I don't want to waste any of those. Yeah, it's just some Yupo paper and some, yeah, so just some other speciality papers that are white, all in that spot. This one says watercolours, but it's not really completely watercolours. I've got all my alcohol accessory things here. I've got my nicer brushes that I use for my watercolouring rather than the ones that you saw on the back wall. Some watercolour paints in tubes. My little jar here. A couple of these water pads, clipboard, pads. This is all my drawing stuff from Joanna Basford. I've got my little drawing book on the go in that. some watercolour pencils and some palettes as well. All that in the one spot. And this is one of my favourite drawers because I love practicing and playing with all of this media stuff. Cricut rolls you come to with part 2 video, and then this is another bit of a junk drawer. But all my stickers is full of sentiments and things that I want to get used up, as well as some stuff that I need to find a home for. These are all extra little bottles that came in that Perfect Pearls tray that I didn't need because the Perfect Pearls were in the perfect size bottles. I just really needed the case. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do with those, if I'm going to give them away or not. And it's just some extra little containers when I've got stickers and things on my desk. So those are my 2 drawers. The only thing left to go through is this Kallax unit. This is where it borders on my little sewing corner. This box at the top is probably the one thing in my craft room that I hate the most because it's just so messy on top. But it's full of stuff, so I can't get rid of it. I've got nowhere else to put it. This one at the side has got my journaling cards, Project Life cards, and then these 2 little drawers, again from IKEA, I've got different collections. So you can get a sense of just how many collections I've got. I've got probably about 20 of them, and I'm not going to buy any more until I work my way through them, until I've got space and I start using them and getting rid of them. So that is my plan. I've got one spot here. And Paige Evans is just bringing out her new collection, so that is likely to be the one thing that I relent on and allow myself to buy. But other than that, a lot of these are kind of down to the last dregs of things, so I really want to get those used up. These 2 little units, I got these from Crafty Storage in Queensland, and again they were a Christmas present, and it's a shame they're not white, but the storage is perfect. So this one on the right I will go through when I talk about all my Cricut stuff in video 2, because that is all Cricut supplies. This side though is a little bit random. So this is just random things like these toner sheets, the shrink film paper. This is all kind of tissues and other kind of bits of paper I can use in my layouts. Adhesive sheets, stenciling stuff, glassine bags, magnetic paper. It's kind of stuff that you don't use very often, but you need a place to put it. Laminating pouches. These are all patterned 12x12 sheets. Random ones, I did get rid of heaps when I did my September stash busting. These are the ones I wanted to keep, so I need to make sure I use them. Tracing paper, vellum as well. Then this is all of my glittery cardstock is here, and then underneath is all my foil paper, as you can see. And then lastly on here is coloured cardstock. So again 12x12, but lots of different coloured cardstocks in that. These little drawers are full of all my alphas, so I've got them in kind of colour family order in these. And then I moved all my card stuff to the bottom because I had a real good purge and clean out for that. So that is all on the bottom shelf now. And these are all sewing related, so I'll cover that off when I do this little sewing corner here, rather than double up on that. And this, actually I should just quickly touch on, these are all the extra sheets from my happy planners as well that I've just put together. These are all the extra sheets you get in the back. So I thought I'd take those out just to avoid having the bulk in the books. And that does remind me, I didn't show you my craft inventory planner. So this is where I normally keep it. Again, I'm going to have a video on this in a few weeks time, I think, once I get around to it. But this was a project I worked on over Christmas, moving it out of the old one into the new one. I just made these dividers, as you can see, from 12x12 sheets, and then just organised it by colour, all kinds of things. So this is where I've got a lot of my swatches for all my colour stuff, as well as you know, product lists as well. So I won't go through that now, but that is something else that I reach for quite often when I'm in my craft room. So that is my little video. I hope I didn't go too fast. I hope the camera work wasn't too dizzying for you. So this is my happy place, guys. This is where I come to make all my little creations that I share with you. And it's my favourite room in the house, the only room in the house really that is tidy. So I hope you enjoyed that. As I said, any comments, questions, queries, just put them down below and I will answer them all for sure. But apart from that, have a great crafting weekend. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.